Hello and welcome back. This is Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana, and you are watching Marksman TV. Today is a tabletop review and comparison of the brand new Springfield 911 and the Sig P238. We will start with an unboxing and then move through a general comparison of both. If you've seen our videos before, you know the format, so let's jump into it. Alright, now let's go ahead and start off with the unboxing here with the Sig P238. So it does come in a hard case with two little latches here we'll go ahead and open up. Now inside is your instruction, warranty information, all that sort of stuff. Right here inside this plastic bag is the handgun. We'll go ahead and pull that out, remove this loaded chamber indicator flag, and check that we're clear, and we are. Now inserted in the pistol is one 6-round magazine. It only comes with one magazine, even though there's provisions for a second one. Keep in mind, the one magazine included is this flat one. You can get one with an extended floor plate, but Sig P238 and 938 mags will run you about 40 to 50 bucks, so they are not cheap. Over here is a little polymer outside the waistband holster. It's enough to get you by, and then your gun safety lock and a little test sample of some lubricant. Now for the Springfield 911, it does come in a white cardboard box with a little carry handle. We'll go ahead and open that up and flip it around. Now inside is this little fabric case here, and down here is a gun safety lock and cleaning brush, another little test sample of some sort of lubricant, same one that came with the Sig actually, and one extended 7-round magazine. Now, moving this aside, we'll go ahead and open that up, and inside a nice little pouch for you to use, and the handgun is inserted with a little chamber flag there. Now inserted in the handgun is a flush 6-round magazine, just like we saw in the 238. Going ahead and moving those aside, and here is a little pocket or the placeholder. Cool thing about that is it's actually velcroed in, and it doubles as a pocket holster. Or if you have anything like in your vehicle, you could set up some Velcro under your dashboard or anything like that. Go ahead and stick that up under the dash as well. So really cool idea. I hadn't seen that before in other handguns, so a little bit innovative. And let's go ahead and jump into the comparison. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this with the specs, but first I want to talk about something that's a really cool feature. So like I mentioned, the 911 by Springfield does come with two magazines, a 6-rounder and a 7-rounded extended mag. The Sig 238 just comes with the one 6-round, the 6-round flat plate magazine. Now a really cool feature is these actually do swap over, and they are interchangeable. So I can do that. Of course, I can take the extended mag and insert that in here as well. So, function-wise, it holds it open. They're usable, just like the proprietary mags that they come with already. Now, the really cool thing is the Sig magazines do retail in about the $40 to $50 range. But the new 911 mags on Springfield's webpage are advertised at $25 a piece. So the good news for all of you 238 and eventually you 938 owners, your magazines just got a lot cheaper. So that's a really cool feature. I'm really glad that Springfield did that. I think that was really smart. So let's go ahead and move on from there and talk about the specs. So a lot of the physical specs are the same. Starting over here with the 238, it does have a barrel length of 2.7 inches. The Springfield 911 is also a barrel length of 2.7 inches. The overall length on the 238 is 5.5 inches, which is the exact same over here on the 911, 5.5 inches. The height is 3.9 inches, same over here at 3.9 inches. Now the weight is a little bit different, so the weight over here on the 238 is 15.2 ounces, and the weight over here on the 911 is 12.6 ounces. Bringing it in, I'm trying to make this as close as I can, but there goes the height, and then flipping it over here, you can see the general size difference. I'm a little bit off there. There you go. I know that was really rudimentary, but it gives you an idea. They're roughly the same footprint. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into the slides. Starting here with the Sig 238, it is a carbon steel machine slide with Sig's nitron finish. Here in the back, you are going to see rear slide serrations. Flipping it over to this side, you have rear slide serrations here as well, obviously, and then your Sig P238 roll markings here. Now up at the top, you don't have any type of loaded chamber indicator, which is okay, but you do have your sights. The rear sights are dovetailed in position and are windage adjustable. They are steel in construction, and they are in a 3-dot configuration, and these are Sig night sights. So you do get that benefit there for you. Now bringing in the Springfield 911, this is a 416 machined stainless steel slide, and it does have that stainless steel finish on it. Now you can get the nitride finish slide in a different option, which I'll roll in a picture here for you. Now here in the back you do have nice slide serrations and an external extractor. The serrations do kind of go in at an angled configuration, which is really nice for gripping, and it just gives overall really nice stylizing of the firearm. Now down here you do have Springfield Armory roll markings, and then on this side you have, of course, your 911 or 911 stamping. You have your rear slide serrations here as well. Now up at the top there is a loaded chamber indicator, and then here are your sights. The sights are also steel in construction, and they do fit in a 3-dot configuration. They are dovetailed in and are windage adjustable. Now your front sight is a Pro Glow, which is a tritium insert with a luminescent circle around it. Really easy for your eye to pick up in the daytime, and of course very usable at night as well. The rear sight is a 2-dot configuration tritium insert with a white circle around it. Again, good for day and nighttime shooting. These are really, really nice sights. And there is your 3-dot configuration. Also from the back, I want to point out there's a really nice kind of pyramid shape to it, which gives you a nice tall sight radius and kind of thins up the profile of the slide, which we didn't quite see on the 238, which is a little bit blockier. And for comparison, there is the back of the 238 again. So let's go ahead and talk about the trigger, starting here with the Sig 238. Now, being that this is a scaled down subcompact carry version of a 1911, it is single action only. So the hammer will have to be staged to the rear in order for the handgun to fire. Now, of course, with the hammer down, it will not be able to be fired. The trigger weight on this is rated at about between 5 and 7 pounds, and I would say it's about on the lighter side of that. So going ahead and showing you that with the trigger to the rear, we'll go ahead and start giving it a pull. So you will notice just a slight bit of take up right there. Once we get to that wall, we just apply, again, about 5 to 7 pounds of pressure, and then we get a nice clean break. Now going ahead and showing you the reset on that, switching hands here to make it easier for you to see, we'll go ahead and start showing you the release, a little bit of travel, and right there is a reset. Really short, again, really common and indicative of what you're going to see on a 1911 style handgun such as this. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk about the trigger on the 911. Now, again, just like the 238, this is a scaled down subcompact micro carry version, if you will, of a 1911, which is where they get the name 911. So it is single action only. We will have to have the hammer to the rear for it to fire. Now, the trigger on this is a G10 trigger. It has really nice stylizing cuts here, and if we bring it in really close, which the camera wouldn't be able to pick up anyway, there's just kind of really nice what I want to say, the kind of texturing on here, like kind of small dots, if you will. It just kind of makes it look more high-tech. I know that's kind of a non-issue, but a really nice stylized trigger on that. Now, the configuration of the trigger itself, again, is very much like what you're going to see on a 1911 and exactly what we saw on the 238. Very small and hugging the back of the frame. Now, going ahead and giving this a pull, there is a little bit of take up here, quite a bit less than on the 238. And then going from that pull, go ahead and squeeze from there. Really light. This is advertised at about 5 pounds. I would venture a guess to say it's lighter. This is lighter and crisper to me than on the 238. But even the 238 is an excellent trigger. So this is a really, really, really nice, really light trigger. Now with that comes a detriment of safety, especially if you're going to carry it cocked and locked. But you do have safety features here, which I will get to when we talk about the frame. Now going ahead and showing you the reset on that, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a pull. Jumble it around here in my hands so that I can show you this from your perspective on camera. Okay, let's go ahead, once it focuses here, and show you the reset. So I'm going to go ahead and start to release. Little bit of travel. Watch or you might miss it. Right there, reset. Very, very short pull, very, very short reset. Phenomenal trigger for a little concealed carry 380, so really good points there. Now let's go ahead and get into the disassembly, starting here with the 238. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the magazine and check that I am clear, and we are. Setting that aside, now this is going to come apart just like if you've ever seen a full-size 1911 come apart. This is going to be very similar. So here is your slide stop. This also is the base of the cross pin, which holds your barrel and slide assembly in place. So what I'm going to do is there is a little cutout notch right here. I'm actually going to bring that back in line with where the cross pin is so that I can actually extract it out the side of the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that back and then go ahead and push the cross pin if I can from the other side. Grab it here and go ahead and pull it out the side of the firearm. Now that'll allow it to come forward. Usually these kind of catch right here, so I'll give it a little bit of force and let it come forward right off the frame. So here's our frame and here's our slide. Now we do have a stainless steel guide rod and a single spring. This spring is actually very long and under a lot of spring tension, so I'm going to go ahead and very carefully, so I don't throw this guide rod back into my face, lift it up and then pull it out there. And you can see it's a pretty long little spring compared to the size of the guide rod, so we'll set that aside. And then of course right out of here comes our barrel, and we are fully field stripped. Now here is the Springfield 911, and the process is going to be pretty much the exact same. So I'll go ahead and remove the magazine and check us clear, and we are. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the slide back, aligning that little takedown notch with our cross pin, and push it out from this side. Go ahead and grab it and pull it out, and it's going to come forward. I didn't have to coax it forward that much. It came right off the frame. All right, from here we can take the guide rod. Now the guide rod is stainless steel, just like on the 238. Go ahead and compress it and pull it out here, and you just have a single spring here. Remember, these are two separate pieces. They are not captive. And you can go ahead and grab the barrel and pull that out of the slide as well, and we are field stripped. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the frames. Now these are pretty much carbon copies of each other. Springfield just a little bit updated, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. Bringing in the Sig 238, it is an alloy frame that is hard coat anodized. Now your grip panels are wood, and they do have this nice texturing and the little diamond texturing patterns here, like which you would see on like old World War I 1911s, and your Sig graphics there. Now the magazine release is also metal in construction, and it is not reversible, so it is set up for a left-handed shooter only. You do have a safety selector back here. Now on some models you do have a right hand only, and on some models you do have an ambi safety selector switch, so you would have one over here as well. Those models can be purchased. They might come at a little bit of a higher price tag, but that is available to you on the market if you are a left-handed shooter. Now up at the top, the rails, the guide rails and everything are monolithic. It's all machined as one solid piece. And then of course you have your ejector here and your hammer back here with a really nice, small but usable beaver tail here that just protects you from that hammer over travel there. Now on the back strap, on what would be traditionally your mainspring housing, you do have some nice texturing there, and on the front strap as well. It's kind of just ribbed cuts into the front. So overall, a really nice frame, really nice and stylish. And then again, when it comes back to the grips, you can get those in sort of like a rubber grip panel, or you can get them with kind of the scaled snakeskin texture on their Scorpion model or their Emperor Scorpion model now. So there are different variations like that available to you as well. Now the Springfield 911 is going to be very similar. Let's go ahead and start here with the grips. Now these are G10 grips, which just do have that really nice kind of black and white swirly type texturing to them, which is actually really nice looking. And the texturing is really good too, very grippy, nice. They really hold and bite into your hand, but they're not overly aggressive at all. And I really don't like overly aggressive grips, and these feel just perfect for me. Of course, I'm sure you can get different grip panels on the market and switch those out as you like. Now on the back, you do have a similar texturing, kind of that G10 texturing where the traditional mainspring housing would be, and same thing up here on the front. So really nice all-around purchase on the gun. And of course, remember, you can insert that extended magazine to give you just a little bit more grip. It is enough to get all of your fingers on there. Especially for me, I have medium to small size hands, but I can get them on there just fine. If you have really large hands, you still might have trouble, but keep in mind this is a little pocket 380, so that's fine. The trigger guard does extend a little bit more further towards the front than it did on the 238, which gives you more room in here if you are running gloves or anything like that. So still a very viable winter carry option there for you. Now the guide rails are of course all monolithic and machined as one piece into the frame, so you have that there. Now this is standard width and ambi control safety. It does have a little red dot there to indicate red means dead, that your safety is off. The the hammer itself is skeletonized, which was also the case on the Sig 238, which is a very nice touch there. The magazine release is metal in construction, and it is not reversible, so this is set up for a left-handed shooter only. And like the 238, this is an alloy frame with a hard coat anodized finish. Alright, now let's finish up with the barrels here, and just by looking at these, again, we've been through all the parts. The 911 just looks like a carbon copy of the 238, and the barrels are no exception. Starting up here with the 238 barrel, this is a machined carbon steel barrel, and it does have the nitron finish on it that we saw on the slide. Now the feed ramp is polished for that nice reliable feeding, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Very simple 2.7 inch barrel. Now coming down to the 911, it's pretty much the same, and you can see the stainless finish. Now the other variant that is out has a nitride finish, looking black in appearance like this one, but you can get that as well. Now this is also a 416R stainless steel machine barrel, just as the same material as is on the slide. And other than that, it does also have a polished feed ramp, and it's pretty much indicative of the same that we see on the 238. So barrel length on this also 2.7 inches. Now just for fun, I just reassembled a 911 with that Sig barrel, and it actually works just fine. Now obviously I have not fired it with the barrel in there, but the function is identical. Now the recoil spring on the 911 is a little bit shorter than on the 238, so that's really the only physical difference I can see, but I would venture a guess to say that you could probably interchange all the parts and it would run just fine. Alright, now let's finish up here with some final thoughts, and let's first start off with the price point. So the Sig P238, as it stands, you typically find them retailing in about the $600 to $650 range. Of course, that will vary based on where you live, and you could probably find different deals going on at your dealer or online, but as a rule of thumb, about $600 to $650. The 911 is going to be coming out retailing in about the $500 to $550, maybe a little bit more than that right out of the gate. So it is about $50 to $100 cheaper than the 238, all things being equal, and that's excluding different promotions going on and stuff. Also, the magazines, which we talked about, a little bit cheaper, $25 as opposed to the $40 to $50 that we saw on the 238 and 938 previously as sold by Sig, so you are coming in at about half. The good thing is those magazines can translate over and you can use them now in your 238, so that'll probably cut into Sig's market a little bit if they don't drop the price down on these to the same $25 point. Now, basically what this is, and I think this has been demonstrated pretty well, is this is a updated 238. This is pretty much a Sig 238. It is a complete copy and knockoff on the 238. With that being said, what they have achieved is offering a updated and what I will say is a better product at a slightly cheaper price point, which I think is good. I mean, competition in that regard is good. The 238s have always been great firearms. Actually, my wife carries the 938, which is just the 9mm version of this, which I'm sure we will see in the 911 coming out soon. And that's always been an excellent firearm, very high quality. The 238, I'm sure, is no difference. We've sold a ton of them in here, and people generally like them. So what we have here is just another option, the same firearm, from a different company at a slightly cheaper price point. So that's always good for the consumer, and that's what we have. Now, for that cheaper price, you're also getting nice G10 grips. They do currently have right now this option, and they have one that does have a complete blacked out slide, and then you can get them both with a Crimson Trace laser. That's currently the options on this one in terms of different color schemes and that sort of thing. And the prices should be relatively the same, other than that Crimson Trace offering will definitely be a little bit more money, probably $50 to $100 more. But that option, you can look at those on their webpage, or I'll roll in some pictures. The G10 grips are a really nice upgrade. The trigger is better. The trigger, it feels better just by feeling it. Just the nice texturing on the trigger itself as compared to the 238. It looks sleeker, and it does have about a ½ pound lighter pull, in my opinion. The trigger guard has been redesigned slightly, giving a little bit more room in there, which is nice. The ambient controls, which I did mention you can get on the 238, the ambient controlled models do tend to bring in a little bit more money, so it's nice that on the base model here you are getting the ambi safety if that's what you're into. And I think having a carry gun with such a light trigger pull in a single action configuration, it's nice to have that ambient control, and it is very low profile, so the safeties on them are kind of out of the way, which is nice. Beaver tail is about the same. The texturing on the frame is about the same. Stylizing has been updated a little bit, and I would definitely say the sights are a definite improvement. Not only are they good for the nighttime, with the night sights that are on there, but also really highlighted for daytime shooting as well. So overall, I think Springfield hit a home run with this. Sure, they just copied Sig. It's what they did. Gun manufacturers do that to each other all the time, but it's good that they did come out with a really nice competitive option that's been revamped and redesigned at a little bit of a cheaper price point, which will hopefully cause Sig to go and innovate on their original 938 and 238 designs as well, and hopefully bring the price point down on those as well. So time will tell on that. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. That is all I have for you today on these. If you enjoyed that, please let me know by hitting that like button. If you have any questions, please leave those down in the comments section.
If you would like to see more videos like this, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Again, this is Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana. You are watching Marksman TV. I will see you next time.